जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतः ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयः यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतमपेतकृत्यम् पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुः तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये. So once at the end of Dwapara Yuga, Vyāsa Rishi, seated on the banks of Saraswati river, was pondering how he can help the people who are going to be born in Kali Yuga. So then he compiled the Vedas, divided them into 4. He composed Mahabharata. But even then he was not feeling fulfilled. So then as he was pondering what has gone wrong, Nāradajī comes. And then Nāradajī points out to Bhagwan Vyāsa Rishi to glorify the Lord, to glorify the Leelas of the Lord. Rishi points out that the easiest way to attain liberation is developing bhakti for the Lord. And the easiest means to develop bhakti is sing the Leelas of the Lord. Vāsudeva-kathā. Giving various arguments, Nāradajī asked Vyāsa Rishi to go into samadhi and recollect all the Leelas. Now Nāradajī is going to narrate his own story of how he was benefited so much by listening to the Leelas of the Lord. So his own example he is giving. Aham puratita bhave bhavam mune dasyastu kasyaschana vedavadinam nirupito balaka eva yoginam shushroshane pravrishi nirvivikshatam. So O Rishi, in the last kalpa, I was born as a son of a maid servant. So in that village, some rishis, some saints and sages used to come to spend Chaturmasya. Chaturmasya means the 4 months which normally the saints, they don't go out because it is a rainy season. So therefore they assemble in one place and do lot of katha, satsanga, etc. So in my village, this saints, group of saints used to come. So therefore my mother was given the task, the duty of serving these saints. So therefore this mother, my mother, allotted this work to me also. A little bit of work was allotted to me to serve these saints. So I was given this work. And then what kind of boy I was? So at that time he was maybe some 5 years old. Te mayyapeta khila chapalirbhake dante dhruta kridanake nuvartini chakruh krupam yadyapi tulya darshanaha shushruṣamane munayolpa bhashini. So these rishis, they loved me very much because I had certain very good qualities in me. What are those good qualities? I was free from all kinds of fickleness. Normally little children, they are very restless, fickle. So I was free from all that. I was very obedient, very loving. And in serving also, I was very devoted. Knowing their needs, I used to serve them. And I lacked this kind of boyish playfulness. And I was very silent also, full of faith. So looking at me, they felt a kind of attraction. They loved me very much. So at a very young age itself, I received the love of these saints and sages. And then whatever food was served to them, after that whatever remains, I used to take them. So then every day this way, serving these saints, slowly, what happened? All my, the dirt of the mind, the impurities of the mind got washed away, and I slowly developed interest in Bhagavata-kathā. So these saints, morning, afternoon and evening, they used to do the katha. So I used to go and sit and listen. So every day when I started listening to these kathas, mind has been purified by serving them, and then it got further purified by listening to these kathas, full of faith. And slowly what happened? My mind became firmly established in that Lord. So this happened year by year. So then once what happened? These rishis, because of their love for me, so once again, now these are the qualities which a seeker must try to develop. Now these stories, what is the purpose of these stories? Purpose of the story is to find out what are the qualifications a spiritual seeker must develop. Tasyevam menuraktasya prashritasya hatainasah shraddadhanasya balasya dantasyanucharasya cha. So these are the qualities which this boy had. Anuraktasya, so much of devotion, so much of love was there in him. Prasritasya, very humble. Hatainasaha, very pure-hearted. Shraddadhanasya, full of faith. Dantasya, control over the sense organs. Anucharasya cha, very obedient. So when these rishis, they saw these qualities in me, they felt that this highest knowledge must be given to this boy. So after the Chaturmasya, when they were leaving, they called me and gave the Jnana Upadesha. They advised the highest knowledge which Bhagwan himself had given, they gave him. Nanam guhyatamam yattat sakshat bhagavatoditam anvavochan gamishyantah kripaya dīna-vatsalaha. So these saints and sages who were dīna-vatsalaha. What is the nature of saints? They are dīna-vatsala. They love those people who are dīna, helpless, humble. So then they found a right kind of seeker, student in me, and they gave this guhyatamam jnanam, a great secret knowledge which was given by Bhagwan himself through various scriptures. So while going, they gave this knowledge. And what happened because of that knowledge? Yenaivaham bhagavatah Vāsudevasya vedhasah māyānubhāvamamidam yena gacchanti tatpadam. So with that knowledge I could understand the power of Maya. How that Maya was depending upon that Bhagavan, and how that Maya was deluding everyone. All those things I could understand. And thus I could come out of that Maya. So all that because of whom? Because of Satsanga. Now here, glory of Satsanga is mentioned. If you want to have knowledge regarding God, you must be associated with devotees of God. So in all the scriptures are unanimous in this regard. Satsangatve nisangatvam, nisangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nischalatatvam, nischalatatve jivan mukti. Isn't it? So first thing is satsang. Now this story also, in every story you will find a person gains the knowledge only by association with some or the other kind of saint. Whether it is Prahlada, whether it is Dhruva, whichever the story you may take, somewhere satsang is there. And from there, the life turns. And another point to be mentioned here is, grace of God, grace of Guru is always there with us. No one lacks knowledge because there is no grace. People lack knowledge because there is no qualification. So here these qualifications are mentioned in order to point out that in life, you keep purifying yourself, you keep doing your spiritual sadhana, right guidance will come automatically. That is how the nature is designed. You don't have to worry when Guru will come, whom should I choose as Guru, etc. You don't have to do it. When the right time comes, Guru will come. Puja Gurudev used to say, when the flower blossoms, the bees come automatically. In the same way, in nature also, everything is well planned. When the child is fully grown, it comes out of the womb automatically. That is how nature is designed. And the moment the child comes, mother's breast is filled with milk. So there is a Lord who is taking care of everything. When a seeker becomes perfectly mature, pure, Guru comes. He need not do anything. So what is our responsibility? Our responsibility is only to keep on doing the spiritual sadhana and purifying oneself. When the right time comes, the grace descends. Right. So then Naraji stopped, but Vyāsa Rishi wanted to know further. So Vyāsa Rishi asked certain questions. Oh Naraji Rishi, please don't wind up your story so short. I want to know more. So at that time when you are a boy, 5 years old, 6 years old, what happened later? How did you give up your body? And then you said that this happened in last kalpa. Now one kalpa is 1000 chaturyugas. And how much is one chaturyuga? 43,20,000 years. This is one chaturyuga. So last one kalpa means 1000 chaturyuga. So 1000 into 43,20,000 years. Now Naraji, I can't understand one thing. This happened last kalpa and you still remember all this? This is a wonder. So please explain. I want to know further. So then Naraji said, okay, I will tell what happened. So this way, these rishis used to come, they used to go. And I had only one mother with me as my only relationship. This mother was very much attached to me. And I was also very much attached to my mother. I had no one in this world other than my mother. This way I was living. This mother also, maid servant, didn't know anything about the world or anything. She was just a maid servant. Then what happened? Ekada nirgatam gehad duhantim nishigampati. So early morning she used to go to milk the cow. So one day early morning, maybe 5 o'clock, etc. So normally it used to be dark. And maid servants mean they have to go from from one house to another. So normally they get up very early also. So one day in the night, early in the morning, as she was going to milk the cow, she somewhere stamped on a very poisonous snake. And the snake bit her and she died on the spot. Now you may think, what a tragedy. This child, a small child of 5-6 years, only one mother he had, and that mother also, isn't it? But see how Naraji in that young age thought. Tada tadahamishasya bhaktanam shamabhipsatah anugraham manyamanaha pratishtham dishamuttaram. How did this boy take this incident? He considered it as a blessing of the Lord. Now what kind of maturity? Ishasya anugraham manyamanaha. Now how did this boy develop this kind of attitude? Remember, it is only because of satsang. Otherwise, normally whenever such things happen to us, what is the first thing we say? God, you are cruel. I don't believe in you. You did this thing to me in spite of taking your name. This is how we analyze that situation. See, experiences come to all of us. The question is, what is the lesson we derive from these experiences? What is the conclusion we come through our experiences? That makes all the difference. You can become bitter by your experiences, or you can become better. If you don't have satsang, every experience will make you only bitter. With satsang, every experience make you a better person. There are many people who, seeing tragedies in their life, they have thrown away the photographs of Bhagwan in the puja room, saying that I don't believe in such a God. What kind of God is this? In spite of doing all this, he has done this to me. There are so many people who have become terribly bitter. This is because they don't know the workings of God. Now what did this boy do? He said, Bhaktanam shamam ipsitaha. Bhagwan is the most compassionate. He knows what is good for the devotee. Every action of Bhagwan is only to bless the devotee. So when such a Bhagwan is there in this world, why should I worry? If he had done this, it must be for my good. Maybe I may not be able to understand it. My little intellect, I may not be able to appreciate or understand this. That is okay. But I have this faith that Bhagwan loves me. I have this faith that whatever Bhagwan has done, it is for my good. If every experience in your life, if you can conclude this way, then you are really wise. Then really, satsang has created impact upon you. Yes, few days you will be shattered. Nothing wrong, but you must come back to this state. Don't remain bitter throughout your life. Come back. Bounce back like a rubber ball. Don't be like a mud ball. This we have to learn. And that is why we have to continuously keep exposing ourselves to satsang. Otherwise, this kind of thinking will not come. Have you seen this cat? Whenever you throw a cat from a high place, even if you throw the cat ulta, maybe from one floor, first floor you throw the cat. You throw the cat in whichever way you want. How will it land? On all the four, isn't it? This should be the way in which we have to orient our intellect. Whatever be the kind of experience comes, ultimately the intellect should be so oriented to say, Bhagwan, you are right, I am wrong. Bhagwan, whatever you have done is perfect. Whatever you have done is for my good. Bhagwan, I love you. If this way your intellect can get reoriented, you have learned the art of living. It's a very important lesson. Then you will see how Bhagwan's grace works. Then how you become an instrument in the hands of the Lord. This training has to be given. Because of our wrong training of the past, because of our, non-exposure to the satsang, we have trained ourselves in a wrong way. Every situation we derive wrong messages. Satsanga is the one which helps you in right thinking, correct thinking. Now this boy had got this satsanga at a very young age, so therefore he had no problem. Even though this was one of the greatest shocks in life, he could balance himself. So what is the proof of a real devotee? How do we know that I am a real devotee? Whenever bitter experiences come, is my mind disturbed? Then I am not a devotee. Is my mind peaceful? Then I am devotee. This is the proof. Litmus test. You can test yourself. When something very bad, when tragic things happen, what does your mind say? Is it grumbling? Is it complaining? Is it in a state of non-acceptance? Then you will find the mind is disturbed, and understand this disturbance of the mind is because of lack of faith in God, lack of love for God. How quickly you regain your balance, that good a devotee you are. So therefore, all these experiences in life should be used to test myself. Am I progressing in spirituality, or I am still there? The sign of progress is cheerfulness. The sign of progress is acceptance. So now this boy, he did not become bitter. He learned the light lessons. His love for God remained intact. And then what did he do? Pratishtam disham uttaram. He said, Bhagwan, I don't have anyone. Other than you, I don't have anyone. And he just started walking towards the northern direction. What is there in northern direction? Himalayas. Bhagwan is called Akinchana Vittaha. This is one name given in Bhagavatam. Akinchana Vittaha means what? Vitta means wealth. The one who is the wealth of the one who doesn't have any wealth. Beautiful name. Akinchana Vittaha. So those who don't have anything in life, for him, who is the only wealth? Bhagwan is the only wealth. Now this boy said, Bhagwan, now I don't have anyone other than you. Now you take care of me. And he started walking. He took to the life of Parivrājaka. Now this is one of the, one of the greatest sadhanas the sannyasis perform. Parivrājaka, meaning just leave everything and walk. Don't stay in a place. Don't depend on anyone or anything. Just keep walking. Totally depending on God's grace. Bhagwan, if you want to keep me alive, you keep me alive. Otherwise, thy will be done. Bas. And this boy started walking. Town, villages, agriculture farm, and here and there. So many things where he kept on walking towards the northern direction. And ultimately he reached a dense forest. Dense forest filled with wild animals. And he could see the branches of the trees broken here and there. It was very clear that wild elephants have broken all those trees. He just kept walking. Now here your devotion will be tested to the core. He kept walking. All these great Mahatmas, they also do this kind of tapas. Whether it is Swami Ramdas or Swami Tapovanam Maharaj. If you read their stories, you will find such things. Tapovanam Maharaj used to walk in the Himalayas, in these kinds of forests, where no one used to be there. So in one place it is said, he was all alone. He was very hungry. Not a single person was staying there. So then he thought, now I don't know how Bhagwan is going to satiate this hunger. And then at that time it is said, 2 thieves came to rob him. Now you know, Tapovanji Maharaj did not have anything. The robbers came to rob him, and when they found that this fellow does not even have something to eat, it is said that they whatever they had, some roasted potatoes they had, they gave it to Tapovanji Maharaj and then left. Even the thieves felt compassionate for this Mahatma. This is how God takes care of the devotee. Very strange way. mysterious way. It is said about Swami Vivekananda also. 3-4 days he did not have food. And then once he was traveling in the train, he was seated there. One Seth, maybe a businessman, he was seated in front. And this Seth, he did not like sannyasis. The moment he saw Swami Vivekananda sitting, he became very wild. Then he started talking to others in such a way that he could also listen. He said, these sannyasis are useless people, not at all creative, not at all productive, just beg and eat, leeches in the society, etc., etc. He was telling. Vivekananda was silent. And then lunchtime. He spread all his, tiffin carrier. All food was there and so many items were there, samosas and this and chapatis and dal, etc. He spread it. And then looking at Swami Vivekananda, he said, I am not going to give you even one chapati, you see. And then he started eating, looking at him. Well, Swamiji did not say anything. He said, your eating or my eating, it's all one and the same. Well, this businessman did not understand what it is. And as he was eating, and then he was burping, at that time, train had stopped in one station. One person with a basket full of fruits and eatables and this and that, he came, searching for someone in particular. And the moment he saw from the window, Swami Vivekananda, he immediately entered, kept that basket near and did a Sashtanga pranam. Then Swamiji said, who are you? I don't know you. Then this person said, no, Swamiji, today morning I had a dream. And in my dream, Lord Shiva appeared and said, see, my devotee is passing by. Give him whatever is necessary for food. Then Swamiji said, maybe it is your hallucination. He said, no, Swamiji, this dream did not occur once. Again I slept, maybe thinking that it is hallucination. Again the same dream came. Again I slept. Again I saw the same dream. Then it was confirmed that it is Bhagwan's instruction. So immediately I packed up this. Swamiji, please accept this. Now the Seth was looking all this in utter wonder. Even Seth prostrated to Swamiji, saying that Swamiji, please forgive me. What I am trying to say is, how Bhagwan takes care of the devotee, it is mysterious. So, this Parivrājaka sannyasis, they do this. They just don't, not even one paisa they keep with themselves. No money, no possession, and no staying in one place also. Just keep walking. Bhagwan, now you take care, that's it. And they will not ask food also. If somebody gives, they will eat, otherwise no. So this way, our Naraji also, at that very young age, he started. And now he entered into a dense forest. He was very hungry, very thirsty. And then in that dense forest, he saw a river flowing. He was very tired. So there he went, took bath, drank water, and thus he got refreshed. And then what did he do? There he found a very nice silent place, a banyan tree. So there he sat and started meditating. What did he do? Tasmin nirmanujeranye pippalopastha asthitah atmanatmanam yathashrutamachintayam. So he sat there. His mind was very disturbed because his only mother had passed away. So that attachment was there. So all those disturbances was there. So he sat there, closed his eyes, and started contemplating upon all the teachings which those rishis had given him. And then what happened? Dhyayatas charanam bhojam bhava nirjita chetasa outkanthya shrukalakshasya hridyasin meshanai harihi premati bhara nirbhinna pulakangoti nirvritah anandas samplavelinah napashyamubhayam mune. So he sat there. He closed his eyes, meditating upon the Lord as described by those rishis. And slowly what happened? As he was meditating upon the lotus feet of the Lord, his heart became filled with emotions of love. His eyes were filled with tears. Torrents of tears started flowing from his eyes. His hair stood on end. And then slowly he started experiencing the presence of the Lord in his heart. And the moment he experienced that presence, his mind was free from all kinds of disturbances, all kinds of pains, sufferings. Everything was washed away in that experience. And then Ananda Samplave Linaha, he got what you call steeped in that bliss divine. And to such an extent that he totally forgot the surroundings, he forgot his body, and he experienced his total oneness with the Lord. And then what happened? Suddenly this experience vanished. He was into that deep divine experience, and suddenly what happened? This experience, the experience of bliss, went away. And he became miserable. As though you fall from some very high place on the peak of the mountain. When you fall, what will be your experience? It is something like that. He became very miserable, and he again and again tried to withdraw the mind and try to fix it upon the Lord. He was not able to do. Again, here is a conditioned case where devotee gets stuck. Then what happened? Suddenly he heard a divine voice, a powerful voice. It was the voice of God. Gambhiras lakshanaya vacha shuchaf prashamayanniva. He heard a powerful but soothing, sweet voice of the Lord. And what did this voice say? Hantasmin janmani bhavan mamam drashtumi harhati avipakva kashayanam durdarshoham kuyoginam. Oh my dear child, alas, in this birth you will not gain this experience again. It was voice of God. What did Bhagwan say? Oh my dear child, this experience which you had just now, you will not gain it again. Why? Avipakva kashayanam kuyoginam aham durdarshaha. Aham durdarshaha. I will not come in the vision of those. I will not be experienced by one who is a kuyogi. Kuyogi means what? Immature yogi. Who is avipakva kashaya. Kashaya means kalmasha, impurities of the mind. Those people who are immature, whose hearts are impure, they will not be able to gain my vision. Durdarshaha. So here the qualification of a devotee is mentioned. If you want to gain the experience of the divine, what you must have? You must have a pure heart. Bhagwan is there residing in the heart of all, but who will gain that experience? Only those who have a pure heart. So the example given is like the sunlight. Sunlight is everywhere, but on a piece of mirror you see the sunlight. But on a piece of rock, do you see the sunlight? No. Sunlight falling on both of them is the same. But on a piece of rock you don't see, on a piece of mirror you see the reflection. In the same way, Bhagwan is residing in the heart of all, but who will experience him? Those who have a pure heart. But then naturally question comes. Bhagwan, then just few moments back you had given that experience to Naraji. Sakrit yaddarshitam rupam etat kamaya te nagha mat kamashanakai sadhu sarvan munchati hruchayan. Oh my dear child, just few moments back you had my experience. That is out of my grace. That is not because you are qualified. That is because of my grace. Out of my compassion. But why did you do that? I did it because in order to create that longing for me. In order to create that longing. So once you get a taste of the higher, then you can't leave it. This is the purpose. Not because you are qualified. In order to direct your attention towards me, I did this. So this is the experience of all the devotees, all the sadhakas. What is it? You are doing sadhana, every day will not be a Sunday, a bright day. But when you have lost all hope, suddenly this experience will come. You may think, Bhagwan, I think in this birth, definitely I am not going to attain you. And then suddenly that experience comes. When you are totally lost, when you are full of inferiority complex, because of so many failures, you are trying to control your mind, you are trying to control your senses, and then again and again, failure. You are miserable, then you say, Bhagwan, enough. And in that moment of dejection, it just happens. You are raised to the heights of perfection. And then when you are in the heights of perfection, an ego comes. I think I have achieved. I think bas, mera to kaam ho gaya. You develop a sense of ego. And arrogance comes. And a kind of carelessness also comes. For a long time when you are experiencing that peace, what happens? You become little careless. And as it is said, familiarity breeds contempt. When you are very much familiar with the higher joy, you think it has become my nature. Now I can live my life. And then you become little careless and suddenly dumb you fall. And then again you are miserable. See, in life, you know the value of something only when you lose it. Isn't it? You know the value of something only after losing it. As long as you have it, you will not know its value. The same thing is true with God's grace also. In deep meditation, etc., when you have experienced that state of peace, that state of grace, that state of union, what happens? You take it for granted. And then some irresponsible act, irresponsible thought, and you lose it. And when you lose it, you come to know its value. Then you strive again to gain it. But next time when you come, you are more alert. Just like that child who is learning to walk. Once the child has fallen and really experienced the pain, next time the child will be very, very alert, isn't it? In the same way, many, many times the sadhaka has to fall. But every fall makes him more alert, makes him more responsible. This is how everyone has to grow. So here Bhagwan is telling the same thing. And it is our subjective experience also. So how beautifully the subjective experience is put in the form of a story, that you have to appreciate here. If only the subjective experience is told, many will not be interested. But in this form of a story, your mind is grabbed. Isn't it? So Bhagwan says, now continue this path. The path which you have taken is right. Mat kamaha, keep me as your goal. Shanakaihi sarvan munchati hritchayan. Keep on pursuing. Keep on putting forth effort. Slowly, all your impurities will go. Then my vision will become permanent, effortless, spontaneous, natural. And now Bhagwan blesses him also. Sat sevaya dirghayate jata mai dridhamatihi hitva vadyamimam lokam gantam ajjanatamasi matirmai nibaddheyam na vipadyeta karhichit prajasarga nirodhepi smritischa madanugrahat. Oh my dear child, sat sevaya dirghaya. For a long time you have served the saints and the sages, and because of which te mai matihi dridha jata, and because of which your intellect has been firmly established in me, because of the service of saints and sages. Because of that satsang, your mind is firmly established in me. So therefore, now I bless you. What is the blessing? Once you depart from this world, after having given up this body, you will attain the state of my attendant. Vishnu Parshada, they say. You will become one among my men. This blessing I give you. And moreover, another blessing I will give you. Because of all the sadhana which you have done, your mind, which is there firmly in me, will not be distracted by anything. Moreover, when the srishti and pralaya of this creation happens, whatever memory you have now, this memory will not go away from you. What all had happened, you will not forget. This is my special blessing to you. So that is why Naraji is able to relate this story. Normally what happens? We forget whatever has happened. And this forgetfulness is a blessing, in fact. What is that verse in Bhagavad Gita which says that? 15th chapter. Apohanam. Apohanam means loss of memory. Loss of memory is a blessing. So here Bhagwan says, as far as you are concerned, this memory will not be lost. Even after pralaya of this world also, this memory will remain intact. So continue in this path. Thus saying, that divine voice ceased. So Naraji prostrated in that direction from where that voice had come, Akashavani had come, and then how did he live his life? So here is a verse which tell you the secret of happy living. Namanyanantasya hatatrapah pathan guhyani bhadrani kritani chasmaran gam paryatan tushtamanagataspruhaha kalam pratikshan vimado vimatsaraha. Very nice verse, beautiful verse. So how did this Naraji, this little boy, how did he spend his time, his life? This is the way he spent. Namani anantasya hatatrapaha pathan. Chanting the name of the Lord. How? Hatatrapaha. Without any shame, without any shyness. Many people they feel shy in chanting the name of the Lord. So this boy, without any kind of shyness or shame, he would chant the name of the Lord. Okay. Then, guhyani bhadrani kritani chasmaran. Remembering the leelas of the Lord, all those stories which he had listened from these Rishi Munis, he would remember again and again, and thus cultivate devotion for God. Then, gam paryatan tushtamanaha gataspraha. So these are the virtues. So he would roam around. How? Tushtamana. Tushtamana, contented. So cultivate these values. Contentment. Gataspraha. Free from all kinds of worldly desires. Then, vimadaha, free from mada, arrogance, pride. Vimatsaraha, free from jealousies, competition. And then, most important, kalam pradiksana. Waiting for the time. What do you mean waiting for the time? Very well, keeping in mind that I am a visitor in this world. What is that Kannada thing? Allide nammane idu summane. Something, no? So in Kannada there is a saying. This is just like that. That is my real home. So we are all travelers here. We are all visitors. So therefore, someday we have to depart. Keeping this in mind. Live like this. Kalam pratikshan means always keeping this in mind. Don't try to make this a permanent abode. If you make this a permanent abode, then you are going to be miserable. Whatever is given to you in life, use it as a gift from God. And once it is taken away, say thank you and return it back to God. This is wise living. Isn't it? This is right living. Kalam pratikshan. There's a great saint called Sadhu Vaswani. So he, very simple life he used to live. So in his room, I think he was some principal of some Banaras University or something. Very high post he was holding, highly educated. But in his room, he never used to have any furniture. So he used to sit down with a mat and all that. Books used to be there and he used to sit down, write, etc. So one foreigner came to visit him. So foreigner was stunned. Not even a chair. No furniture at all in the room. Room is empty. Only one mat is there. So then this foreigner asked, where are your furnitures? Sadhu Vaswani asked, where are yours? He said, I am a traveler. Sadhu Vaswani said, so am I. So just like a traveler doesn't carry furniture, in the same way I am also a traveler. Now I don't know whether that foreigner understood or not. But it's a very big, very, very important lesson to keep in mind. We are all visitors here. Don't get attached to anything, anyone. Serve, love, meditate, realize, bas. So this is the secret of happy living. All suffering is because you try to attach to things and beings of this world. The more you try to attach, the more will be the pain. There is a saint called Sant Ekanathi. His guru is his own grandmother. So once his grandmother wanted to teach him a lesson. So at that time he was also a small boy. So once he was seated in the chair and then grandmother said, now do one thing, hold on to the chair as strong as possible. Now I am going to pull you out. So then this boy, he started holding on to the chair. And this grandmother, of course, grandma was strong. This boy was she just pulled his fellow and he was holding on. Ultimately she pulled him out. Then grandmother asked, how do you feel? Then this boy said, all parts of my body is paining. Okay, now again sit. Now when I pull you, just come along with me. Then he did the same thing. And now how do you feel? Now there is no pain. My dear child, keep this lesson in life. This chair is this world. If you hold on, it will end up in pain alone. If you are holding on, hold on to one God. So simple, day-to-day example, this message was conveyed. So in the same way, this Naraji also started living. Okay, then what happened? As the time passed by, suddenly, according to the prarabdha karma of that particular body, death came. It is said death came like a lightning. Something might have happened, some tragedy might have happened, and he died. Then what happened? Prayujyamane maitam shuddham bhagavatim tanum ārabdha karma nirvānaha nyapatat pancha bhautikaha. And thus he dropped his pancha bhautika sharira. What is pancha bhautika sharira? Body made of 5 elements. This body is made of 5 elements. So he dropped that body. And then what happened? Shuddham bhagavatim tanum. He got a divine body. After death, Bhagwan had promised that you will become one of my attendants, right? So what is the kind of body he had? Shuddham, pure, Bhagavatim, divine. He got a divine body. Physical body was dropped. He got a divine body. Now it is said that this divine body of this Parshada, they are not Pancha Bhautika or Karmika Sharira. They are not born out of your karmas. It is said it is luminous body, and this body doesn't undergo decay, doesn't go through disease or old age. Now this is from the story aspect. But what is from the highest standpoint, what you should understand? What is this divine body? Pure consciousness, your own nature. Forgot. Shuddham, what is the nature of consciousness? Pure. Bhagavatim, divine. What is the nature of consciousness? It is divine. Means what? The nature of Bhagwan and my nature, they are one and the same. Of the nature of Sat, Chit, Anand. Does it undergo any decay? Does it undergo old age? Does it undergo disease? No. So actually this is our nature. Now see how in the story all these things are said, but you have to understand the deeper meanings also. Of course, this may be really true. There is some luminous body, Vishnu Parshada, etc. It may be true, may not be true. We don't know. We have faith. But ultimately, which is the divine body? Our divine body is pure consciousness, which is our nature. And then what happened? We will see tomorrow. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhave, Asato Ma Satgamaya, Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.